Yeah, I have a shot of tequila with a Peyton every maybe I don't know 2 3. That we don't really go hard with that because we don't need to. But there's just like this little one of the oldest ladies in the world had like a shot of vodka or tequila every day. Well, something. I don't think that's the end all be all. You know. Actually, a good friend of mine's dad, who was like a health nut, dude. No alcohol, no nothing. He passed away, dude. His heart went into cardiac arrest, bro. But I think that's genetics. All right, we're live on TikTok.
I kind of got to be careful because I like getting to the other side of it, and then once I get there, I'm like, oh, I want to stay here for a little bit.
I know what you mean, man. That's when we go out. When I'm out, man, I want to have a good time. So I'll be like, hold on, let me get another one in there.
I like vodka.
So you like Hanukkah?
Vodka.
Oh, vodka. Yeah, yeah, vodka's good. That's a
Kettle,
real,
Grey Goose. Nice.
yeah.
What do
Um,
you like mixing that with anyway? White Russians or something, or what?
No, so I've been doing club soda because it's less calories.
there you go.
But like you put cranberry was my choice back in the day, and then I'm like it's got too sugary. You go from like 300 calories on a drink like that to like 30 with club soda.
My favorite drink has got to be a mule. I love mules, dude. Ginger
All of
ale.
them, yeah,
I love them so
yeah,
much, bro. Especially with some good ginger ale. Lock me in, dude.
yeah. I can't drink brown liquor unless it's made like that. You know what I mean? The brown
Yeah,
liquor's no good.
yeah, no good. All right,
You ever
y'all.
had
Had a who?
a dark and stormy?
No, I have not. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, look that up. It's good. It's really good.
Okay, that's your public service announcement for today.
Ah, yeah. That sounds good with a lime wedge. Yeah, I'd lock in on that one. That looks yum. Might have to check that out tonight. All right. Let's go ahead and let us prep, everybody. What's up, TikTok, YouTube? All right. Now, boy, the people be rushing in here quickly. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll just kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at here as we get into the close. So far, right, that whipsaw, that gap down, that shot down, man, we're rocketing towards the highs, and I fully expect for SPY to be at that overhead tomorrow. Maybe shit by the end of the day it could happen. Uh, Obviously, I'm no genie here, but a big pop like that off the lows up into the highs. This is the third time, at least in the most recent price action, and there's not really much in front of you. So if we hold this close here today with that wick, we're obviously looking good, potentially into all-time highs. Now, QQQ, which we've been having fun with here today, and I tell you what, man, that was sweet. Letting it work out and then taking that break. You got a great bounce off of the floor at 605.75. The candle started to flip green. We talked about that this morning. We talked about that pop over 609, and all that empty space ended up getting filled. And right now, a beautiful example of, again, in class. You'll probably, if you're new here, you'll probably hear me talk about rock climbers, right? It might have to start using Alex Honnold, but since he's the goat, one of them. But this is a prime example of this rock climbing mentality, right? We need to see candles closing on the floor. Whatever you reclaim, you need to hold in order to see continuation. So QQQ, obviously, on the 24-hour. This is one of the more interesting things here that I talked about, is we are right and probably going to end up maybe even closing up against 617.20, and that is something that needs to be reclaimed. like we've talked about, we have nothing but empty space directly up above us. We'll have to split that in half from the bottom of this structure. Oops. Oh, a second. There it is. So right here, right, and it would be right around that 622.50 mark with a pop over 617.50. Tomorrow, it is absolutely essential, and I want everybody to be aware, unless we close by the end of the day on top of it, it is possible that we still see that retest underneath us. But so far, with this trajectory and empty space filled, we're looking really good to. This is a huge play, right? Big amount of empty space up there to the upside. We also will be aware, right, of the downtrend. And again, these channels are meant to be recovered, meant to be lost. And of course, with that being said, right, that is in pretty much perfect confluence with that mark. Sorry, damn. This water is goated. All right. Now, last one and successfully as well, IWM. Not bad, guys. Hopefully everybody in here was able to catch a piece of that one. I saw the gains page. Oh, I haven't seen the updated gains page. What are we looking at here? Yeah, so Q's. Nice. Thanks, Hefe Potter. It's starting to make sense. I love that, dude. By the way, I didn't signal this person to do any of this. Look at that. Look at those percentages. Just diabolical, bro. 764% and 606. I mean, that one was, I don't know. Um, but yeah, Meta $700 calls, 606%, man. That's none to shake a stick at. Fire. All right. Big Chungus. Your name is Big Chungus and you don't have the Bugs Bunny, the fat Bugs Bunny as your profile picture, dude? All right. Anyway, so real quick, and we'll take a look at AMC. So split this empty space in half, right, from the floor to the break. And we're getting pretty close, and I might actually be off on that one. But it is over 267.50 where we have continuation up to 269. Tomorrow, we want to be very, very much above that 622. No gap downs, and any retest, which we've already accomplished here today, would be off of 266. But again, that rock climbing mentality, you can see prices holding above these wicks, and that's where it needs to stay. But so far so good, y'all, with these setups. Hold on one second. All right, now to cover just a few equity plays here, and not equity plays, but a couple of option plays that I'm already in. I know some of you guys are already in as well. AMD was taken today off of a nice retest and break outside of its structure, right into that empty space, with the target still being directly overhead at 222.30. Money. Absolute fucking money on this one. I've already trimmed a couple of times, so right now I'm just trying to get that 222 target, and then obviously there could be room for a potential re-entry, or if you've already re-entered, but new highs on that one, and those 220 calls are looking at 100% here. So what app do I use, Potter? For this is TradingView. I use TradeStation to trade. That's what I use. All right, so AMD is looking pretty tasty to go finish that play up. I know a couple of you guys are trading that one with me. Snow with young Jorge. This one's stalling, but it's okay. A little bit of tension before the break is not a bad thing. Tomorrow, squeeze cheeks if we got a retest down to 170, but my goal would to just be hold 173, and if anything, if it loses that floor, it'd probably be a best bet to just take the punch back. But this one has a replica of AMD. We know it can give the move. It's got empty space directly up above it, so I maintain. Looks really good. All right, so AMD, Snow, QQQ, and IWM all pretty damn successful trades here as we're getting into the end of the day. Need to take a look at this one because I saw my P&L shoot up. Yeah, that's what I thought. So real quick, I'm still holding this for some reason. I haven't really managed, but it hasn't lost anything, and my average has stayed green. But it does have empty space. I know there might be a couple of you guys here in here watching this one up to 285, which tells me there might be a retest at $3 where I might end up dumping this. There's still empty space up to 427, but I don't know about that one. All right. Yeah, it is. Talk about Tesla really quickly. This one didn't really maintain. Well, it is actually. Let me not jump ahead here. It has maintained and held onto its floor, but with that empty space and it kind of hovering, I think it would actually be really beneficial for Tesla to come and test 414 at minimum 416 directly underneath you in order to get this punch back, right? You don't really want to move too fast because, again, building like this gives you something to come back and test on. So anyway, I'm probably good. Yeah, I mean, right now we're watching the close here on IWM and the Qs to see whether or not it's going to maintain that swing signal. But so far, it looks really, really good. Be sure to tap your screen if you're on TikTok. Free game here. Looking for the full gap. We'll feel like we'll just chop it and open. Well, I haven't done it. Yeah, if we fill the gap overnight, then it's over with. Tuesday, we do have core retail sales and retail sales month over month. So just something to be aware of. But if you guys have anything you would like for me to take a look at, please drop your request in the channels. I'm going to move through these as quick as I can. Try and get this done. Interesting. Okay. Really quickly, the live trading bubble that is right here for everybody who's new that I'm tagging you in, that is for your request. Anything in here is for everything else. Okay. My focus is typically on that channel though. What the hell? All right, let's keep it pushing here. Yep. CRKs, PLTR. Okay, so PLTR to the upside. Let's take a look at this 24-hour time frame, see where we're closing. All right, so first things first, right? Where are we? We're directly up against the floor. This is always a good sign, right, for potential continuation. We do and can recognize that a lot of candle closes come off of this particular level, right? That's that 152. We'll see how that translates down into the lower time frame. Watch. Oh, wow. It is translating, right? So let's look at the 2-hour. And what we're doing here, right, is we're watching as we get to the end of the day, because what is PLTR trying to do? It is trying to grab hold of the floor. This is what it looks like when your fingers start to slip. You still got it, but if you lose your wick here, you don't really have much else. And so this could be something that could benefit greatly from a retest to the upside, because it is only that floor that'll get you here. And once we reclaim that 146.63, you have a great trade to the upside on the lower time frame into the 155 and 154 areas. So it does look pretty good to the upside. All right. PLTR took Kava a couple weeks out. Yeah, Kava's actually looking really good, and I've got equity in this one. Ooh. Goddamn. Is it time to consume the horse feed? I'll give away Kava gift cards if this one goes. $84 is a shorter expiration potential target here to the upside. Definitely going to be looking at this one as we get to the end of the day. Potter, you don't do signals. I'm discussing it right now if you pay attention. So I would do shorter expirations right up into that cost basis. That's 84.21. You look at the price of the contracts and it completely disintegrates when you get to 85, which makes the risk to reward in your favor. $80 is a psychological target. And if 84 is our target, that would allow us to put, or would possibly put us in the money. Now, if you're somebody who's risk adverse, this might be something that next week's contracts would probably be just enough cushion for you to be able to manage this trade. And again, as we'll get towards the end of the day, I'll tell you what we're looking for on the 24-hour time frame. We want to maintain this candle close directly up against the floor. That's about it. We want to look directly in front of us and recognize that, yes, there will be an imbalance or 50% target at 78.42. Right? So that's directly up in front of us as well. So 78.42 and 84 bucks would be two potential targets here to the upside. We do know that price action will allow for this sort of thing to get done. And we can look back in the past at its previous runs and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it might be that imbalance weekly contract, and the next week's contract into the 84s. If you do go 84s this week, just know it is riskier, right? Of course it's going to be. We know that it can get it done, and again, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you know, again, you still had something similar to this. Last step here is just to establish the next solid floor. Okay, so it is $74 that would that's all we need to clear. This is the resistance keeping you from it. So you might just have a little bit of turbulence in there, but I mean, it is a really good setup now for people who are looking at this like I am as a potential equity trade. There is high potential, right? And we've placed a target possibly all the way in the 120s, but 110 would be not too shabby as well. And what can be considered here, now we're getting a little bit deeper, right, is if this was something that on the lower time frame we were able to trade up and we were able to take punchbacks on, it would also complete, right, wide fluctuations in price can start huge trends, right? And I mean huge. So this, right, while it may go fill that empty space and even get up into that 111, might find itself building in that area to price in that top. So I mean, this actually does, would you buy even if the spread is bad? I mean, the spread isn't that bad. Again, it is lower risk, so you're not putting a ton on there. You can always go closer to the money if necessary to try to get a bit of a tighter spread. You don't want the spread huge, but with a decent push to the upside here, I mean, let's see here. And we can watch as we get into the end of the day, and you don't need to jump into this because we are directly at this floor. So you can wait for confirmation. The closer you get towards the end of the day, the better. So I will go ahead and set a little alert at 78.
Next week's 80s are only 47 cents right now.
That's fucking beautiful, dude. That's fucking beautiful. All right, that was well discussed, I feel. All right. So Kava looks good and definitely needs to be added to the watch list if it's not already on there. I like that. Okay. Raymond. Looks good, man. You did a good job on that one, obviously. Ooh. So that is something that, man, this is the third time, right? You've bounced many, many times here. Now, again, until we get the candle close underneath, it's, you know, and there is definitely some underneath, right? You had the box that you punched through here. And so you would say, well, we got a 1961 and a 1922 and a 1875 target. 3 targets to trim, trim, take profit. But of course, this is not the sort of response that you want to see when you are on the floor. However, we can see that a red candle closing, even close to that, doesn't necessarily trigger it down. It needs to be underneath. And when we drop to the 4-hour, we can also, again, maintain that this has yet to break. You did get a good wick push down, but that candle hasn't lost anything. And that's why the candle closes are so much more important than giving it a fucking name and calling it a, whatever. That's a beautiful channel. So honestly, I might actually look at that
Shooting
one.
star.
Yeah, there you go. Shooting Star, Abandoned Baby was always my favorite. I resonate with that one. Anyway, sorry, that was too dark. 2119, right? That would be the median there. And then, I mean, because of the structure up in front of you, you would have the box and cost basis at 2225. So there's a loss of volume on that one, row your boat. Everybody remember to get your Valentine's presents. Okay. CRK, PLTR, INTC. Well, there's no denying that that one definitely has empty space on the 2-hour. The 24-hour is just this, but where are the seller's grimy little fingers stuck at? And it looks like $50. And you fuck that with that candle underneath you right there. Ooh wee. Yeah, so I would be, definitely aiming. That's not a bad little setup, actually. So tomorrow, or if you're already taking this position now, it does look set up to go to a 53.11 target directly up in front of you. You can move down into a lower time frame. And oof, that's so fucking money. I can't even see straight. $54 would be a last runner target. I just put $50 because I have no idea. I just put $50 in VOO. Oh, beautiful, dude. I just put 50 bucks in VOO because I have no idea what I'm doing. That's okay, man. I mean, it's not going to make you a lot of money. That is obviously what most people are going to tell you to do is just, and like I said, it's not a bad place to maybe throw, I've used VOO, but, today could be the first day that you start learning a strategy on how and where to place your money strategically. So that way, you know where your stop loss is, so that way you're avoiding unnecessary losses. So yeah, I mean, it's the first day of your life. All right. What does a non-tradable symbol mean? Exactly what it means. It's not tradable. You can't trade that. Can I explain my strategy? Sure. Yeah, I look for areas of consolidation with 3 points of contact on either side, something like this, or shit, even like these boxes right here, and I look for the floors of them to be reclaimed. When the floor is reclaimed, I can choose to take an entry in anticipation of cost basis, which is the 50% mark of any box. And if the 50% mark of the box is moved or the volume held within the 50% mark of the box is broken, I am guaranteed a new high. It is my job at that point to find said high and go from there. So I utilize these boxes for entries, for exits, stop losses, same thing. Hell, I've even raised my kids with Potter boxes, dude. AO breaks over cost bases. Lock them down. Lock them up. Lock them up. How do I know which stock to buy? I hunt for them, my boy. I look for my setup. I have a pretty basic Rolodex, if you will, that I rotate through. But we also, again, have one of the most powerful Discords, I think, on the planet, because how many people are all focused in, all locked in on the same strategy, and all looking across the market, utilizing different things. So collectively, as a group, as you just saw on a couple of these, we tend to find some really kick-ass setups, and a lot of these that are not even, necessarily guaranteed to trigger are still good setups. They just might not be ready to trigger. What are the three lines used for, and how do you set it up? So you just go to your drawing, your rectangle drawing. You'll once you draw the rectangle, you'll click on this middle line, and that'll give you the 50% mark. Which, not to brag, but they did that for me. I'm not super tight with the owner, but he was in our Discord for a while. The guy, one of the owners of TradingView, and yeah, I was one of their top authors for like big stocks like Tesla and Apple and NEO and a bunch of other stocks for, I mean, I held on to those labels consecutively for like months. I just produced a lot of updates. I mean, I would update constantly because I wasn't live streaming. All right, let's see here. Woof. Oops. Not bad, right? And look at how you look at these candles. That's strength, right? At least for right now, you are holding that 1634. Guaranteed if I move down here, I'm going to find structure, right? And that means that I can use it. That means it's my friend. I wouldn't tell anybody in public that structure is your friend. They will think you're absolutely out of your mind, but I just love structure. Or they'll think you're an incredibly organized individual. So in the 5-minute, obviously, again, we're more focused on the 24-hour, which is, yes, maintaining a candle close outside of this resistance, which is 1629. So that obviously serves as a potential retest level and must hold. But otherwise, you're looking to your left where, I mean, I told you guys this morning, it 1777, the first green candles hold to our left. And then, of course, if that's reclaimed, possibly beyond that. If you guys are on TikTok, if you guys don't mind tapping the ever living shit out of your screen for just like 2 minutes, I'd be sick. All right, Jamia earnings. Now this is my old fling. Made a lot of money. Actually changed my life on Jamia. No cap, no kizzy. Not this time around. Although, fuck, 5e would have held that one. I still think about that shit haunts me. Now, after any area, right, of consolidation, Jamia tends to push. Now, earnings wise, right, and I mean that's standard. I mean that's everybody knows, right? Contraction, expansion. However, it's this type of price action that can really wind it up. Now, previous earnings have not been insane, but they do get the job done in terms of refilling empty space. So that's going to be the main priority. Yeah, it looks good. That'll be the main priority, right? Looking up, look, empty space. So this is my part of my strategy, right? So you're going into earnings. This is a good setup, guys. I'm showing you right now. This is what I would want to see going into earnings. Look, earnings date, you're already open on the floor. What's in front of you? Absolutely nothing. So what do you place your target at? The floor. Where does it go to? The floor stops and crushes. So that's a good setup. So we can say after that brief study that JMIA does move, right? Now, what do we need for it to move? We need empty space. Do we see empty space? Not here, right? Not anywhere close. The only thing that we can look up and see empty space is on the weekly, which, I mean, that's one hell of a build. Sellers have a job to do. When you reach resistance, sellers push back, right? Sellers push back. That's what their job is. Every time you get back up to a floor, they push back. And so what are they not doing here? They're not pushing back. They are holding on. Price is building. Price is maintaining. Now, I mean, that's not the best maintaining I've ever seen in my life. So I can say this, because this is a bilateral setup, it could go both ways. And I hate having to say that, but the reality is that there is not a forward, or I can say there's a little bit more to the strength on the strength of it. The fact that you are holding into earnings. So I would say maybe a $17 target to the upside, and those are probably going to be relatively cheap. And then to the downside, like previous sessions in this area, we could actually look for a fucking substantial dump down. I might actually fuck around with these contracts because I know they should be cheap. As $7 and $17 could be two areas. I'd say 8 might make for a better target. Keep it closer. So, all right. Let's see what do we got next. I actually really do like that one. Is that tonight? Charlie Pride? I'm assuming so. Make sure it's not just on TradingView. I mean, those are, I could get 16s for fucking loaf of bread. Shit, you don't even want to target those. Those are 2 10s down. If those are for this week. Interesting little setup right there. I love the consolidation though. Tomorrow morning market pre-open. Aurora, I love your PBS label. This is PBS adults. PBS money. All right. How do I like Apple calls? Well, I never like Apple. I retired me and Apple. I made money on Apple. And then it started to lose once it split. Toothless? Listen, dude. We're gonna have cat for dinner. You got Vominos. It'll lower the camera. Yeah. Brother's bouncing my camera up and down. Hey. How do I feel about Apple calls? Well, Apple today hit this same collar, right? And I you can call it whatever you want, but that's the overhead resistance. That's where sellers have stepped up before. And then again, the same question that we ask every single day, what is above and what is below? That is the box that you broke to get here. And yes, that is what you are bouncing off of. So we go to the lower time frame. What's underneath you? And by the end of the day, this could change drastically. I will say there's actually opportunity now that I'm down here on the lower time frame. There is opportunity on both sides. You did reach a new high of 280 outside of that box. That is true. But the target overhead to the upside, right, would be 283.40. How do you get there? Well, right now you're bouncing off of that previous range. Let's go to the 2 hour. That's the box that you had to break in order to get here. And so already your step one is already complete. You've reclaimed, or you are reclaiming, the floor. By reclaiming the floor, you can fill up this empty space and you can look for, and this would be the distinguishing quality of a stock that is about to move up and out, and that is 278.40. 278.40 would be a place to look for that trade. And again, how you fall is typically going to be how you rip. So once you get into that empty space at 277.60, gas pedals need to be on. Market needs to be pushing. Otherwise, you can't afford weakness in that area. All right. Yeah, we had somebody in the Discord. Look at this. Look at that. I think it's actually kind of funny. When Moon, he said, thanks, F.A. Potter. It's starting to make sense. Meanwhile, he's got like 200. Like that. That's funny, actually, in another way. And it's those kind of percentages. That's nuts. All right, let's see here. Camellia, I'm so new to this. I wish I could have someone sit literally next to me. I know that feeling, Camellia. I know that feeling. I felt the exact same way. I promise you I did. And that's exactly what led me to getting scammed, is because people take advantage of that vulnerability. Trust yourself, okay? To be able to, just like anything else that you're good at, Camila, you had to do something to get there, right? And think about how you felt when you first started. It's intimidating, and that's really the biggest thing, is it's just so much information, right? But it's not something that you can't, shut up, row your boat. That is not something that you can't take your time with, right? There's not a rush. If the stock market doesn't exist, then you've got bigger problems. So I have a lot of YouTube videos, and my DMs are always open. And I will say this, I know that I don't always respond the first time around, and what I'll do is I'll see the message, I'll read it, and I'll mentally respond, and then I'll forget about it. If you need to ping me again, I do not get annoyed. I have not, I'll let you know if I get annoyed, but don't be scared of annoying me, okay? Like anybody. Sometimes I'm just busy, like yeah, I can't get to the, to the message, but all right. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to oh, you know what? You're right. DJ has annoyed me. Yeah. Where's DJ at? That fucking piece of shit. I'm just gonna... Oh my god. Why'd you have to bring DJ up? All right, let's see here. Arm to the upside. All right, let's look at the 24-hour. You're pulling back a little bit, so ooh, that's not what we want to see when we're leaving. You had a great retest here today, so let's investigate. So this is a litmus test, right? We're finding out how much, right? Or if you had a plenty of volume to get through all of this structure, and now you're hanging out around here, which isn't the worst thing, right? But the thing that we really don't like is that you did touch something, and that was the only thing that I placed in front of you. And if a wick like that stops you in the face of empty space, you don't have the volume you need, right? Think about it. You're climbing a mountain and you get tripped over by a twig. Your Sherpa's going to look at you like, brother, go back to camp. You do not have the fucking knee power to get up here. That's another fire analogy right there. What? Oh my god, they got me with the harassment and bullying because of what I said about DJ. That's crazy. That's your bad, oh really? Cash at me right now. No, I was kidding. Let me restart this stream on TikTok. If you guys want to hop back on, I'm gonna keep chugging along here. I'll literally just come right back to the page. It'll take me 2 seconds. All right.
Snow's cooking.
You said cooked?
Snow's cooking. Contracts up over 100%.
Oh yeah, they are. And I thought you were, oh, you scared the shit out of me because I haven't had an alert go off yet. So put that up. All right. Damn, I can't believe they got me with the harassment and bullying. Just a little bullying. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just let me bully you one more time, man. Come on. All right. So further investigation into ARM, right, does show the potential for a retest. It also, whenever I see things like this, I automatically start eyeballing potential control. Do you see the point? So these are points of contact, and points of contact inside of a channel will act or help me identify. So right now, this is still under control. And this box is everything. And I don't think that it's outlandish, right, to want a fast pullback into it so that way you can bounce, pop, build, and get up there. Usually it stays down here or it even goes down into this area. But yeah, I mean, that might be the move there. So if you don't have the expiration, what the fuck am I talking about? To deal with that, then that could be just a re-enter because you just lost 124.11. All right. Cypher up to 1778. Okay, so definitely lower time frame, right? But on the higher time frame, you are not wrong. 1770 is a gap, and there's more empty space in there. So you have the liberty of choosing. Now, one thing I can say about it as we speak is you're getting those candles, right? So gapping up above that, or if you don't have enough now, if you're showing signs of weakness now, that is where we're looking at either a hedge, or that's your serving as your stop loss. But I mean, it does look good. The 24-hour candle looks good. JPM Pigs, how are you doing on this one? Any update on that? Ooh, so you did smack decent target on that one.
I mean, I have longer dated contracts and they're in the money, so I'm nothing to worry about too much.
Did but you played like weeklies underneath it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So I would say right now, let's look at the 24 hours. So, that candle right there can call for some concern. What we needed to do is be over 325, and we were unable to do that. It does appear that there is a range somewhere up in here. Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to encapsulate all of that. We could just say there, and now we know what we couldn't reclaim. And so if we didn't have the volume now, we'll have to come back and get it. Where did we get it from? We got it from 320. So with the engulfment back down, we could be expecting a move back to 318 at best. Let's also, man, I feel like the market is like shifting right now. No, there's no channel in there, so we should be good on that. The 24-hour hasn't lost anything. There it is. So now, literally, I mean, nothing has been lost, nothing has been gained. So, I mean, you still have obviously till the end of the day. That sort of lower time frame, though, does potentially spell some potential downside here. Let's move it down a little bit further. Yeah, it seems like 318 might be the move here. If you want to reduce your risk or get your original investment off of Snow, depending on what contracts you guys have.
Snow doesn't look like it's going to go on up after it punched back there.
He said he was up 100%. No, it does look good. It looks great. But if you're already up 100%, you could literally take off, a little bit. I am 45, and you're one of the best teachers I've ever had the pleasure to learn from on any subject. Patience is crazy. Damn, Jesse. Thank you, man. That means a lot. I really do appreciate that. I like doing this. I like teaching. I don't know when I caught that bug, but I enjoy it a lot.
You're patient at it. You do a really good job.
Thank you, man. It also helps when you know what you're doing, That helps a lot.
I'll also glaze you real quick, dude. Coming in sick last week with your whole family sick and fucking you're sick, that I probably wouldn't have done that. And that's crazy that you came in and like fucking held us down, even though, like a couple days you were like, oh, I'm like 5 minutes late. Like, no, dude, like you're so solid for coming in. I just wanted to say that.
Damn.
He's Michael Jordan.
He's Michael Jordan.
Jordan had the flu game, dude.
Y'all
When I
chill
see you in
out.
person, I want to fight you.
Oh my God! All right, that's not the reaction I was
No, I'm
expecting.
kidding.
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I mean, we could throw friendly hands, man. I've been in that kind of friend group before. I swear to God, friends that just
I used to do that back in the day.
I don't want to glaze him too much, but so you're bad at video games.
Thank you. That's not true. Now I'm deeply affected. Who is Michael Jordan? That's not what he said. I think JB Straddle is all right. Potter got me off of Skid Row. Damn. No, that's pretty big. Oh man. Well, thank you guys. I do appreciate it. Hopefully that translates to the money. All right, let's see what else do we got. We've got GBM, Cypher, ACM earnings. So first thing is first, what the hell is this? Second thing is, yeah, that was pretty big, yeah, and led to a massive crash. And that's exactly what that was. This one led to a gap up. That's all right, but that wasn't that great. That wasn't that great. that was led to a reversal, but the contracts might have gotten, I don't know what those contracts look like. That doesn't look bad. You bust over. And one thing I'm seeing here is you just really don't have a lot of empty space that you fill up on those earnings in the past. However, this time you do. I think it would help maybe to know what this company is and who's in it, but I mean, the first instinctual thing that I see, because that is the top that you were held from, I immediately go and look at, well, where did you have to fight to go? And that would have been 108. So because that's so much empty space, it's hard to, obviously place a target up there, but I would say the first logical target is 108. Jose, I knew you were going to answer that. That's crazy. You've unlocked a limited theme and promotion coupon. Get the fuck out of here with your promotion coupon. Oop, there I go again. Now I'm bullying TikTok. What happened to your other page, Potter? I'll tell you, son. Hold on. We gotta ask. No, what am I tagging them for? I need to tag the TTI. The TTI guy. I'm asking TTI because he's familiar with their money. But let's look at it from our chart perspective. I like to tag team, certain setups with his signing. Okay, so first of all, obviously huge move, so it wouldn't be wise to necessarily chase this. Are the workshops generally on the weekends? No. Jerry Rodriguez, get out of here. I mean, unless that the entire group is requesting that we only do it on the weekends, I plan on doing it after hours around 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. They are all going to be recorded, and you absolutely can. So what I'll do, everybody, if you're not there and you watch it that night, then you can come in the next day, and before I start class, I will hold questions. So if anybody has any questions about last night's class, now's your time, and I will record that separately, so that way you can go back and look at that. But how many classes? However many it takes, man, for everybody to get through it. Maximum patience. So it is important to me that everybody, if you're gonna get your money's worth, okay? And I'm going to, if that much is fucking sure, you're gonna get your money's worth, because we're not moving on until everybody who opens their mouth has acknowledged that they get what I'm saying. I'm not moving on. And if I have to rewind and obviously there's a lot of subjects that don't need me to do that. I'm talking about brokerages that you can choose. And if you are elder, right, the first class is going to be boring for you. It's not going to be fun. You're welcome to say, if anybody in here has been in here for a while and you're successful, and you want to come and maybe share a few words beforehand, I would absolutely love that. 10 out of 10 recommend the workshop. Thinkorswim versus TradingView. There's no competition because Thinkorswim is a brokerage and TradingView is a trade tracking app. I'm sure one day it'll be like, yeah, you can invest via TradingView, but unless they have that already, and I don't know about it. Calls or puts, which do you recommend a new options investor? I recommend neither. If you're at that point in your trading career, you can go ahead and do what most people don't, and that's hold off until you have a full comprehension, right? Or you know where that is when you are going to be served lessons that you don't have the information to learn from. It's just going to you're just getting kicked in the balls. What do you learn from getting kicked in the balls? That it hurts. You don't like it? but if somebody's got a foot that tracks it, there's really no escape. And so if you don't have the information to actually learn from bad and good and know what to replicate, then you're going to be learning or putting yourself through unnecessary trauma, which then you're going to have to deal with once you do get the information. So that's what I would have to say about that is take your time, man. I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I had this lady and she was in her 50s, and she just mentioned to me, she was like, I just feel like I've missed so much, that I should have been doing this. And I'm like, dude, why even think about it like that? Like, 50 years old, you could live to 100. That's 50 more years. Even if you lived to 90 or 80, that's still a lot of time, dedicate a couple years. And I mean, she ended up being pretty successful. So for context, I'm a blue chip long-term hold investor. I take low and high medium risk, mainly tech. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's a great place to start. My strategy actually works really well with investing, and you can practice the same concepts that I teach with equity, with shares, rather than with options, because the idea is the same. We're not accepting orders right now. All right, wow. God, you're so lucky you can't get clipped. Peyton just stuck her head in my window. I got my window open. Damn, how hot is it in here? Damn, it's 78 degrees in my office. What the hell? Do y'all see that? Look at that. We're in a fucking sauna. All right, so I'm starting to have consistent 200 to 350% shares. I'd love to share a few things that slowed my progress. Also, knowing I have still more to learn. Rod, yeah, write those down. I would absolutely love to hear from that. So hopefully you guys that are taking the workshop on March 1st will be able to hear from some of the successful students, so just, and if you are somebody who wants to share, just what things help you, just give your experience, because somebody might be just like you or learn or comprehend things similar to you, so you might be helping out somebody more than you know. All right, it is 3:28. Let's take a look at Datadog earnings are tomorrow. You might have to miss me on that one. I don't really see. Let's see. So earnings does move. I mean, there has been some substantial pops, but I know that Datadog can give just as much as it can take away, and that one doesn't run until a couple of days after. So the consensus right now is you're kind of poopy. This isn't really, I mean, that's a decent little move. You do have empty space. You do go hit the floor. So when we look at the setup over here, yes, there is empty space. Yes, you have bounced and recovered the floor that you fell under at 110. You are facing and are up against that floor. And directly in front of you, there is empty space to 127.33. If you're new here, empty space is literally just where a lack of structure, right? Or price moves quickly. And so this is the sort of setup where you could see that. I don't know if that's the biggest play in the world, but that would be 127. And if, right, and then here's the much bigger picture, if that is correct, it would be over 130, and you might be, that's where this trade could get huge. You could see a fucking big ass green candle up to 151. That's all I'll say about that one. But it's rare when it gives those candles out, so. Coca-Cola down to 73 for earnings this AM. This AM? It's already had earnings? So again,
No, I'm
there.
sorry, tomorrow.
Oh, it is tomorrow? Okay, so I mean, the only target I'm going to be able to give you is 75.37, and of course, the main structure at 73. But, on something like this, there absolutely is no guarantee, and it is definitely high risk to short something up at the highs. So I hope that one works, but that one is deceptive in the way that it's cheap, but sometimes doesn't move on its earnings dates. In fact, I think I can remember a few that were kind of trappy. Yeah, a lot of these were trappy. That one was obviously not, but there was a shit ton of empty space and a beautiful base. And I mean, you're coming out of expansion, so. I'm going as quick as I can here, guys. A lot of requests, so. Hims over $20.14 to 23. So great start, great bounce. Damn, yeah, you bounced right off of that structure. 4-minute time frame. Yeah, I could see a $21 gap up. Do I have a weird wick on the video? I do see that as a $21 is your target directly up at overhead. No sense in overcomplicating that. Is that my weird wick? Yeah, yeah. Holy shit! So you really did go and touch that one. That was close enough. I'm not to here. I'll move it back. So that's the overhead, right? That's, yep, candle open, candle wick. You just shot over the highs and you're getting yanked back down. Where's the floor? Where can you not fall? So you actually, oof, this is where things get nasty because this is actually your supporting floor. That's a lot of empty space down there. Best way to educate myself to come fully complement is to begin options trading. If you don't have a strategy, then you're just, the only lesson you're going to learn is that you need one. So just throwing that one out there, man. You know, I want you to be successful as well. So that is you beginning your options trading though, right? It's, you have to have a strategy. And if you do not have a strategy, you will be reminded that you need one. All right, let's keep it pushing, guys. Crowd to the upside. That's a curious wick, man. Okay, so I just want to discuss a couple of things, right? There is this underneath feeling because there is a lot of stocks that have popped up today. And keep your wits about you. You know, things like AMD obviously look, you know, pretty good. But there's a couple stocks that have not reclaimed their floor, or as we're nearing the end of the day, are pulling away from them. And with the Qs, right, we could still see that retest underneath us because we cannot, as of right now, hold that break, right? And so I would say at the moment, it's probably wise to be looking at a potential hedge if you are swinging the Qs, or if this thing loses its floor by the end of the day, you can't. How can you hold that? All right, let's see here. I just got an alert on gold. Uh-oh. Gold boys and girls. You got an overhead target. That is some shit piss candles though. Wow, weakness. But it is, you are at that major overhead resistance, and on the 24-hour, or excuse me, was it the 4 or the 2 or the 1? So that is the, yeah, it was 5,200. This is a weird way to close, man. The 24-hour looks great. Where can I start learning a strategy? If you're, I mean, you could learn it on the internet. You know, you Google. Obviously, I'm teaching my strategy that I built, which is the Potterbox strategy, which you can find on YouTube or in my workshop, which is on March 1st. All right, let's see here. WGS, Gene DX. You should be hitting 93.50 tomorrow. You're very close, actually. So it's going to be one of those deals where you got to get on that floor in order to keep pushing, which you have plenty of catalyst to feed off of. But it's going to start with a 96.75 punch back. APLD. Hacks for eyes to not get so tired from watching the charts. I mean, look at my eyes, dude. Just gotta suffer. I mean, you could wear like blue light stuff. You know, they have blue light glasses. I mean, sometimes I'm tempted to wear my sunglasses because I have a light shining in my eye as well. But yeah, blue blockers or whatever would probably be your best bet. APLD has one thing to go and break, and that is 39.50. Today you hit that, and as of right now, you are holding. So this is something that, like, if you had, you're bringing this to me at the end of the day, this is I'll take that tomorrow, right? Because if it's not closing at and it's pulling away, which everybody should be looking at the stock that they're swinging and accepting whether or not that is happening for you. But that just gives me the liberty to try to take that once it does gap over or push over. So are these wicks taken into account? I mean, yes and no. There's still empty space. And like if the candle on NVIDIA, right? This actually happened right before on the Qs. Does anybody remember this? This was right here. We got that weird wick, hit 630 on the penny, and then we dumped the next day. Hey Potter, what's Darvis box? I kept hearing people on Alex Trade talk about it. It's just him trying to insult me because he is not smart enough with his tiny beady little eyes to be able to understand something like my strategy, especially when he just copied and pasted his from the internet like everybody else. Darvis never finished his analysis. Darvis died broke. So Darvis doesn't get any fucking credit because he didn't finish his work. He didn't use volume profile. He wasn't aware of the volume concentration at the 50% mark. He wasn't using the floor as a stop loss or cost basis as a stop loss. He wasn't aware of empty space. He wasn't aware of how price moves through empty space or how options are able to be taken advantage of it. And that's just, again, somebody who, he doesn't have anything actually, I can roast Alex because of everything that he does, because it's all copy and pasted bullshit. And he's just not a nice guy. So, he's got no ground to stand on. He's never created anything in his life. And the one thing that he did create, he yells at every time it comes in his room. Oof, that was burned. Damn, that made me kind of... Oh, yeah, you're right. No, that wasn't. That was... bars. I'll take that charge. That felt good. Clip that and send it to him. He needs it. He needs a dad. Trust me. I'll be his daddy. Bro, if you search on Gemini, they say you have modernized the box strategy in a unique way. Are you serious? I've had a bunch of people send me like stuff that AI says about me. Yeah, AI is just like, I'm cooked, y'all. I'm cooked. All right, let's see about bull. All right, what else do we got? It's 3:38. We're making good time. Yeah, I am. And ooh wee, that might be good. Oh yeah, we might have to buy that back, baby. We might have to buy that back. So you really don't have anything in front of you. You've got a lot of loose gaps. The volume is at 766. You do and are. I mean, that right there shows a ton of strength. You moved through your structure over here to your left. Let's actually move down a little bit further. I love a good box. It's like a jacuzzi for stocks. Just get in there and relax. 687 needs to break. Okay. Let's bring that average up. Okay. Yeah, I know what the strategy is that that he built. But, as far, when I started doing this, I didn't know very much about. In fact, I think I had only heard about the Darvis box. I up to that point, like, this came as soon as I turned on the 24-hour chart. I saw boxes everywhere. I saw points of contact coming off of the same area. I remember specifically a space on NVIDIA, and I mean this, don't even know if I could find it now, but it was going way, 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 way back, and it was the same deal. But anyway, all right, let's see, Cypher. That's cool that Google gave me credit though. Thank you, Google. I will be a good boy for Israel now. Just kidding, sorry. Anyway, 1645 candle close. That's great. If you are looking at Cypher up to the gap is 1775. There is empty space beyond that. That's a great candle close. Translate that to the lower time frame, and again, what is above and what is below. I can also see that you know what? Pull that down. Pull that down right there, because that is where you retested. So 1632, that's what holds you up. Listen, every time you do analysis, every time you're in a play, you should know where the play is to the downside. Not to give you anxiety, but to acknowledge your stop loss, because do I need to know, right? How my whole career is based off of empty space. So if I see a wick at 1633 and I'm already in and I lose the wick, what do I think is happening here? Right? We're probably going to fucking fall, and we're probably going to fill up that empty space. So rather than me holding through that, right, I could bounce it off of 1522 and try there, depending on how it fell. I do own Webull shares, yes. Hey, Potter, been winning lately? Yeah, me and the gang. Today was pretty righteous. A little bit of that. Look at these gains, dude. Absolutely diabolical. I love what I do. All right. I'm doing class on March 1st. Discount spots are almost gone. How do you decide your stop loss and take profit? That's a great question. My stop loss and take profit, I'll give you an example on this chart right now since I'm pressed for time. So let's say I wanted to take Cypher, right, on the floor reclaim. Let's just play pretend here, right? It comes back down, it builds a nice juicy box, wicks off the imbalance, and then punches back through. So I say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take that here. I could use this floor as a stop loss. Now, in this example, is cost basis or the 50% mark held with red candle closes? Yes. So in this box, I could use that as a stop loss. It is mechanical, and it would be retested if you found yourself in trouble at the top, right? So if you hit this and you can't break it, you're going to come back to where you got in. Now, if you have the right expiration for that, then you should be able to hold through it. And my take profit, because I mean, in simple layman terms, trade box to box, my first take profit would be 1848, and my second take profit, based on the fact that it has empty space up to the first green candles in the 50% mark, would be 1880. So my entry would be over cost basis with a stop loss of 1733. I would be looking for the break over 1775, and then I'd be looking to start trimming as I approach that floor. I just searched you on Gemini. That's dope. It's giving you respect. I wish I could be on the gang. So busy with life and side projects. I basically chart for fun. Good crust, man. I mean, you know, if you can just afford to watch the YouTube channel, man, you can get a pretty simple concept. And even if you're just investing with equity, you can still apply. I think that's the easiest route, you know, is straight up, you know, you're just buying equity. Look at it. It looked like it was coming from the other side of the chart. All right, let's see here. So snow, as we get into the end of the day, does look pretty good. But as per usual, snow is probably going to need to get more volume to encourage the lack of it. And that's going to happen by, again, acknowledging what you broke to get here. So right now I'm looking at a 1720 or 172.25 retest at worst. Now here's what I would like to happen. If we did get a gap down right about here, that would allow for price to punch up, immediately fill the gap, and we're off to the races. There's nothing to stop us. However, if we do lose that 173.15, you could go ahead and call it quit because the better entry is going to be off the box above, right? In here, which we could straighten that out. 176.15. All right. Lush. Nice chart color. Mind sharing them? It's just yeah, I don't mind. It's that, I guess. Some weird ass colors now that I think about it. Yeah, what is going on here? You got orange bodies, red borders, and red wicks, teal wicks, green bodies, and white borders. Oh, don't clip that. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it is bullish. That's for damn sure. You are over the median. I would fully anticipate a floor retest here shortly around 35.12. Taffy. Shit got stuck in my head, man. Wolf, are we getting whiffed? That was my only concern about this one. I mean, no. I mean, you could hedge, man, for 15 or worse down at like 1480 if you but I mean you're okay right now. You know, don't get too wrapped up in the yeah, you still have to go and lose 1640 Celsius. It's 347. Listen, this one's a lost cause to me. Now, I do think very much that it's likely going to go to 45.60, and with today's engulfment, that seems like it might be on the list of things to happen here. You are sitting on top of that box, so yeah, it would be 45.80. You do have empty space, and you haven't lost anything. So right now, the analysis is 47.12 is the next floor to go and bounce off of. If you do lose that candle close, then I would look for that 45.80. And the reason that I say this right on Celsius, so really quickly, this is actually, if you had to start over, would you start with funded or live accounts? If I had to start over right now, oh my God, I would use a live account 100%. You know, knowing what I know, you know, I could probably, you know, manipulate both of them. But if I'm, you know, out of cash or I have a little bit of cash, if I really wanted to, or what I would likely do is probably make money with options, and then maybe buy funded with it because I could turn, I've turned $8 into fucking $500. So I mean, like in a week, yeah, with these options, you know, again, if you're patient, you can, and you know what a good setup looks like with IWM, especially with IWM. Oh my God. I'd wait 2 weeks to take one trade on IWM and I just hammer the shit out of it. Hold on engulfment. Do you apply candlestick patterns to your chart analysis? No, I do not use anything that you can Google. As a, like, you know, maybe say for support turns resistance. But no, I do not acknowledge the name. Like somebody named the candle and then said, this is what it's telling you, as if it's a signal. Like maybe you can look like, you know, is a candle with half of its wick chopped off weakness. Yes, you did not have the price to hold. I like real interpretations of price. That's what I am aiming for when I am looking for these candle closes. Somebody's mic is open. But yeah, no candle closes or candle names. Yeah. What's up?
Are you going to cut your equity in Celsius?
No, I don't think so. Not yet. I'll let it retest. But as far as any sort, you know what I actually expect, man? And really quickly, this is a good example of a great setup that we did take this. This was a trade we took from 45 all the way to 58. But now it's in between the two, right? And this is where, I mean, we could see some really wide waves in this area. So if we lose the top at 45.35, I'll call it. But oh, an engulfment. Well, an engulfment is just a descriptive word, right? You could, if I give you, if you're 4'10" and 80 pounds and I give you a big hug, I've engulfed you. You know, like that's just what we're using. It's not. I'm not naming it an engulfment. Like, oh, that's a reversal. There is obviously areas where the price has engulfed the other, and you haven't lost anything. And I've seen that before as well. You can engulf something, retest underneath you, and pop right back up. All right, let's see here. If you guys are on TikTok, if you guys don't mind tapping your screen, I think TikTok's starting to hate me. All right, can I look at Amazon here? Yes, I can. There's 9 minutes. See, that's what I was talking about, right? Is these, and you do have a good wick, right? That candle is pulling your hub. We're going to investigate that. So just so everybody's clear, right? We need to see today's high taken out on Amazon. That's it, right? From there, we're placing our next target. The target's going to be the first green candle to our left at 217. Okay? Drop down, 4 hour. This is a great time for you guys to be learning, by the way, if you're watching on TikTok. So no one time frame is ever going to decide that one trade. So we now know for sure. On the 4 hour, price adjust. And it's going to be 217 on the dot. So 12.12 or 212.35, that's where we're looking for our upside. And as we speak, price is retracing, right? It's pulling back. So I can't really see anything here. That's weakness, right? And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I just want everybody to be aware. I am hedging over going into tomorrow, because on a couple of these setups, it's like right where we needed strength, you found weakness. And a lot of these could be interpreted as retest, right? Before you continue moving lower, you retest a floor. Now, with today's wick, that's pretty strong, but it didn't grab it. So this could be a setup that you choose to take a little bit later, or excuse me, tomorrow. Let's look at the 15-minute. Okay. So base out of there. You did have to punch through that box, and you did. And that is the only floor that I see separating you from empty space, and a retest of 206. Yep, there it is. I don't think it's dead. You know what? I don't think it's dead. I think at least by tomorrow, if you saw a gap down around this area, that could actually be a really good reversal trade. So yes, for everybody who is involved, this is kind of what I expected on ELF today. I got my alert. At this point, it is trending south. It has lost its floor. And it is something that I expect will possibly give us some more aggressive retests to the downside. So, okay, so Kava just came down. Kava retested, and Kava is bouncing, closing up again. Oh, hello there. Okay. Oh, not the biggest ring pop. You want to go to her house after I get done and go get the ring pop? You'll sneak in the back door or something, or we'll get all dressed up. What do you think? There you go. Close my door, baby. I'm sorry about your ring pop loss. Well, you're about to bust my door down with your foot in order to, I'm glad you chose against that, baby. Thank you. Okay. Interesting. I can't decide if I should trade GM Motors stocks for Apple stocks. That's my economics final. Wait, you got a final and you have to trade? GM Motor stocks for Apple stocks? I do day trade, but I mostly long with options. So but I do swing trading. I have a finals in economics next May, writing a long paper. Thank you for the wisdom. Yeah, of course. I mean, GM is really struggling at its highs. Apple, I mean, the same thing could be said about this one. If the goal is to get up and to make, to see a return on it, you could look at Apple over that with 280. But this one also, this is another one that kind of has that retesty vibe. So, oof. I will say this, GM is creating opportunity for the future by falling really quickly. That is the kind of stock that when it falls quickly like that, that's when you can look for those pretty solid reversals. So it looks pretty good. You high key look like Anakin Skywalker from the Star Wars episode 1 and 3. I get that a lot. Yeah. That and then I think I'm Matt Payton's dollar store Robert Pattinson. Let's see, Kava Snow. Oh, for snow, I'm already in, John. This is something that I'm going to be hedging and stopping out of if necessary. 2. I do have some weeklies. Yeah, I know I did. Go light. I did. Oh no! Don't look. God, I can feel the stretchy athletic wear wrapping around my hips. Oh my! I'm sorry. Oh my God, that actually looks really good. I got wrapped into this shit last time and no bueno, but that is a setup for a punchback. You are sitting at cost basis. Damn, where's Sydney Sweeney when you need her? You could use some negative publicity here. Depending on the cost of the contracts, that is going to dictate whether I risk money on this one because this one does chap my ass sometimes. 187.50s are cheap. The spread's a little yonkers. See if I can tighten that up. Yeah, spread is really wild. So that one I would suggest maybe keep it a little bit light on that one. 2 minutes left. PBS won, but at what cost? I look like Kevin Hart. All right, get this guy out of here. All right, so Kava, let's go ahead and brush up on this one as we I mean, are sellers pushing back? I'm with you on this. So, I mean, did not treat you right now. All right, you got less than 30 seconds. How did trade go earlier? AMD was great. IWM was great. And QQQ was also great. So those trades worked out pretty well. Today, I've got some positions left on them. Yeah. Go Bell. All right, now the hedge on the Qs. So I am going to be hedging for that empty space retest to 611.72. Again, you can use SQQ if you want to use that. Some tech money on the line, so.
Or TQQ.
Yeah. Just like
Snow's trying to rip.
you can hedge. Say that again. Say those magic words. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
That's
Don't,
what I'm talking about.
yeah, don't get excited.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Don't trust this. Don't trust
No,
this.
no emotions. No emotions.
Yep.
Just imagine it is like when you're a kid and there's a house that for the last 5 years they didn't give out candy. And this year he is. I don't know, but you see that? He just took his candy has arsenic in it. Somebody poisoned the water hole.
They're a bunch of candy corns.
Oh God, I'd rather eat poison candy. Yeah, I like how I said don't trust it. It fucking came right back down. Yeah, we'll be swing trading too, man. We'll be swing trading too. You have 14 minutes to grab anything on the queues. Oh, thanks for the gifts, guys. You guys don't have to send gifts to me though. I appreciate it. I never liked candy corn either. I'd rather chew gum or eat chocolate. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, candy corn is it's up there with the top sins of humanity.
Like almond joy.
I bet you candy corn is in the Epstein files. That's how bad it is. Actually, it's not even funny. It's rough. I can eat one bite of Peeps. But once I eat one Peep, that's it. I can't eat anymore. That right is trash. VRT does. I can't help you on this one. You know, again. Well, I mean, I can tell you that. Yeah, no, again, it is at the highs, and it could and more than likely would need a retest of 200 and to build here, which it typically does. In order to keep going higher, my channel target is 222. Fly girl, so I don't know. Facts. It wasn't politically correct, but it was definitely uncomfortable funny. Yeah, it did. I said the joke and immediately it felt off, you know. Just didn't hit, just didn't slap the way it ought to. Half a peep. Yeah, half a peep and I'm a goner. All right, let's see. I know I missed a couple of them. Let's see, open door. Keep that one on the radar. The 24-hour looks a lot better. But it is outside of 520. Pause. 526 that you would be looking, yes, for a break up to 564. I'm happy Bitcoin rebounded. Perfect entry for more shorts for me. Okay. Little Bitcoin bear there, boy. Ooh, man. You got a pressure move though. If it does, you might have to retest that 76.3 floor. And right now, I mean, to your benefit, right? You are trapped. You're in the trap, and that trap right here. Look, the box that you fell into, and you bounced off of its cost basis. That is the same top. That's what's going to hold you down. And so that's actually one of the best places to grab calls is when something escapes the furry grasp of bears. I mean, if it retest up there, you got a lot of empty space up there. So, you know, I judge by how price reacts to said level. If it has enough volume to reclaim it, then you might actually see the 84s. But in order for this one to come back down, you would need a 67,750 floor break. All right. Can I check out Shopify? That's pretty good. Yeah. Did we did, yeah, hell yeah, we talked about this morning. Who took this? Somebody asked me about this, so hopefully they did take it, but it was 120. Yeah, I would say right now you got a 120, 240 target. Directly overhead, 4-hour target. Yeah, I would say 120, 180. What's the target on the queues? Well, the goal on the queues, right, to be specific, and this is a really, really, really interesting place to have closed because what we want to see is a break over cost basis. It's actually, yeah, it's looking less and less like we might have to trigger that tomorrow morning. So I see a potential retest here tomorrow. But if that reversal can happen fast enough, then you will get a nasty, nasty squeeze up into 620s. And this right here, this entire pocket, throw that channel in the trash. See, that's where I need that soundboard, where it's like those cartoon, like, boop, 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 and then you hear like a crash, plates crashing or something. But 617.23, right? That's where we would be looking up to 622.72, and all of this empty space will get filled again. It is not going to remain that way. My question is with what we've been able to accomplish off of that gap up and squeeze, are we running out of juice? And if we are, this will be the juice factory. Yen carry trade carefully anytime. Yeah, the yen carry trade is something to think about. In the back of my mind, I keep thinking this is definitely still a candidate for a bearish retest. And I told you guys this, you know, it was the 611s, and then it was, you know, basically 611 and where we were at today. That is ultimately going to, because this rip right here, that's it. You know, you've got empty space all the way to 633, and you look at SPY and it's fucking soaring. So. Yeah, there is a 25% discount on the workshop, which I don't do very often, but I want this class. The bigger the class, the more people who are talking, the more questions that get asked, and all those questions get recorded. Actually, this time around, in this workshop, I am going to be doing some multiple choice stuff, some testing, as we move through it. So, all right. Do you recommend any prop firms? I would refer to the people making money inside of my Discord with prop firms. I think what is it, Tradeify? What are you using, Junior? Or Neil? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Top Step. I mean, he's using Top Step. I don't do it, so I already got the workshop last year. Can I join the class still? Yes, you can join the class. Details are posted inside of the Potterbox Discord. Yeah, if you took it last year or you felt like you didn't really get it, or maybe I know some people say they got busy, or some people even said they got lazy and just kind of dropped off. Like, man, you better step up. It's time to go. I'm motivated to get out of my window, Peyton. I'm calling the cops.
No breaks, baby.
I'm calling the cops for loitering. Quit loitering on my porch. There's a blonde woman loitering on my porch. Help.
You gotta record.
What?
Blonde woman at the window.
There's always blonde women at my window with big hands so they can grip my big body. I'm sorry.
Manny, where you been, man?
That's not Manny.
Oh, it's not Manny?
No, it's Junior.
What's up? This is your Cubano papi. ¿Qué pasa?
Cubano papi. Oh, man. Mexicano papi. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Como se dice? I am scared. What do you think of IWM now?
Tengo miedo.
Oh, that imbalance is disgusting. I mean, that's still strength. It's a second rotation. So, I mean, you know, instinctually, I always lean on the retest. So at worst, I mean, right now you're fine, right? I think you're fine with the 267. If you have weeklies, you know, that's where this is risky. So you should lower the risk. I would. The only, listen, when I swing weeklies, it's because the candle is closing aggressively. Listen, it's closing aggressively against or outside not stopping, but aggressively against or outside. And you'll see that at the end of the day, right? You'll see a lack of resistance at the end of the day, where there should be resistance. And that is okay, if we're shooting up into empty space, you can grab shorter expiration contracts. So I would say Lulu's kind of that, but it did pull back off a cost basis. So Tengo miedo. What did I say? All right, what else do we got? I used your Potter box to scout 2 put positions on Celsius. Yeah, I felt it. Because you used my Potter box instead of your own. Can you point out what you have seen today? I'm just messing with you. What you would have seen on that today hand, the 5-minute chart. I won both trades, but I want to ensure I'm doing it right. Well, that's step one, make money, but took $48 puts, one on Celsius at the fall of the 49. Stop loss was 49.60, and we won the trade on Celsius. Okay, so let me see. What you said, I used your Potter box to scout 2 positions on Celsius. Can you point out what you would have seen on that today? I mean, yeah, I can actually, the first thing that I see on the 5-minute, so being specific here, is there's a box. Pre-market was above that box, and again, the same rules apply. The same rules apply. So candle opens up under $50 and shoots the low. So that would have been step 1. But also to add the cream on the cake, you got empty space. Right? Nobody put cream on the cake. Nobody put cream on anything. But that would have been the first step in seeing that short position. Now, the target does seem pretty clear with the floor over here to your left. Any opening price on the floor is always going to be rebounded off. So, I mean, yeah, it was a good win. That's a good W right there, my boy. Yeah, if you want to check out my Discord, before you get the workshop, just kind of listen. You can get the monthly, and we'll refund that monthly if you upgrade, but it's $80. It's on the website. So if you can't, the mic, so again, do I know Johnny Options? I've seen him. I don't follow him, but I know of him. I know a lot of people. I just know that nobody's eating like that, boy. Oh, look at that, boy. Oh, last QQQ runners. Let's see that. Sheesh. Nice job. Man, you getting good at hold those runners, man. What do I trade? I trade options, brother. Like nobody else. Hundreds of percentages. It does get pretty funny when you're scrolling on TikTok and people are like, I'm out at 30%. Ooh. What's up, baby? Can I set a timer for what? No. You can go play the PS5.
But Mom said I can't go in her room.
She's busy right now. I can bring the PS5 down if you give me a little bit and we can play together. Okay. All right, crazy. Off camera. I love you.
Bye.
Can we not, please? No cannibalism in the house. I've told you that. Thank you. When is the workshop? The workshop is on, it's on chicken. The workshop is on March 1st. What is a realistic percentage of growth attainable on stocks or options? I mean, I had somebody say they were up 179% on their account today and they're not really able to watch too much. I had somebody this morning doubled their account. I mean, people don't necessarily, and I don't expect them to, expect for them to keep this private. But the people who do post or kind of keep me updated with their accounts or their growth, I mean, that's subject to the viewer. I mean, if my strategy works, how you apply your risk into that strategy is ultimately going to be the end result, or dictate the end result. So I mean, we have had people, start with 4,000 and end with 50, like in a couple of months. So I mean, I can't. If I would be foolish to say that you should expect a certain percentage of growth, because we have some people that come in and they don't get it, and then we have, it takes them, 3 or 4 months, and then they're maybe a little bit more conservative with their positions. We might have a 19-year-old kid in here who's slinging fucking dollars everywhere. You know what I mean? So like, I can't. I know that my strategy works for investing. I know that it works for long swing trades with options, obviously with equity as well. It works for futures. It works for crypto. So I mean, it's on you. I know that some of you guys in the Discord could, obviously attest to it. But so if I join the workshop, do I get into the Discord? If you do get the workshop, I am giving out people. I'm giving people who get just the workshop. I'm giving them 2 months. And it is yeah. I mean, that in itself is, you're going to get 2 months. You don't have to start that immediately, but it'll give you an opportunity to kind of submerge yourself in a place where everybody's doing and looking for the exact same setup market wide. And there are some really intelligent, helpful people inside of my Discord who are pretty open to talking and working with you guys. So can't expect it, but if you guys are on TikTok, if you don't mind tapping the screen, I appreciate it. All right, AMKR earnings tonight. Oh shit. Should you hold? Sorry, I just saw that. I mean, so far so good. So far so good. Yeah. That looks like if it stays there, you should be looking at new highs tomorrow. My Discord link is on my YouTube channel. Or, excuse me, well, it is there, but it's on my website, which is potterstockstrading.com. Hold on, I want to see this Gemini thing. Jiminy. Don't call me Garrett. What? So what did you guys ask it? Yeah, if you have any gains to post, throw those in the chat. What do you think of Potter stocks and the Potter stock strategy? That's what you said? Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Potterbox strategy is often referred to as the PBS or Potterbox system. I like that. I can say PBS and then strategy, and it still makes sense. Cool. Rebrand is a technical analysis method popularized by the trader known as Potter stocks, primarily price action strategy that focuses on market structure and key levels rather than lagging indicators like RSI and MACD. The core of the strategy involves boxing in the previous day's price action. Wrong. Well, I mean, I guess you're right, but not the previous days. Traders use identify this box in the previous day high and previous day low. These levels act like ceiling and floor current. Okay. Yep, breakout. Clean candle close above below these levels provide primary entry signal for trend continuation. Open price significance. Gap and go. If the price opens above the box, the strategy looks for a retest at the top of the box to confirm it's turned into resistance and support. That's not true. Displacing sellers and buyers. The goal is to identify where cost basis sits. Yeah, breaking a cost basis level at the Potter box is used as a signal for new high or low is imminent. Huh. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I could use a little touch up. I don't like that it says, I mean, the previous day high and previous day low is true for what's underneath you, but it doesn't mean it has to be the previous day. It could be, I've used boxes from 1990 fucking 8. I mean, straight up, I've traded through boxes that are older than some of you guys. So, to move higher, the price must displace the average cost of sellers, the sell wall. See how hot? That's hot. I might as well be reading a romance novel right now. That's crazy. Displace the average cost of sellers. That's beautiful. This is achieved by a gap up. Well, yeah, you could definitely use a little bit. Who the fuck are you? Elf. Change fast to thinking. My trade is dictated by the opening price and where that is on my chart. This determines everything. Did they quote me? Weird. All right, enough. Yeah, I did link somebody else's fucking video to my thing. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Discord, do you guys have anything you want me to take a look at? YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and shut off the stream. If you guys would like to join me on TikTok, I'll finish up the stream there and see if I can drop some game on you guys before the end of the day.